Welcome, friend. Today we are going to learn about state recognition under international law. Now, what is recognition of state? Recognition of state refers to a state's formal acknowledgement to the existence, legitimacy, and independence of another state. Recognition of state is not just a mere acknowledgement because uh, after a state is recognized, it becomes a legal entity under international law and gains some power, privilege, and rights within the framework of international law. Now, there are some criteria that is set for attaining the status of statehood for recognition. These criteria are set by Article 1 of the Montevideo Convention on Rights and Duties of the States. The first is a state needs to have a permanent population that live on a definite territory which is ruled by a legitimate government, and the state needs to be sovereign. It needs not to be under the control of any other state and should have the capacity to enter into relation with other state. Recognition of state can be done in various forms. It may be expressed, implied, conditional, premature or precipitate. De jure recognition and de facto recognition are important and they are in practice. De facto recognition is based on the facts. It is not a strong type of recognition and it can be withdrawn. Under this recognition, a state cannot make claim. Whereas de jure recognition is based on rights and sovereignty. It is a strong type of recognition and it cannot be withdrawn. Under de jure recognition, a state can make claims. Is there a duty to recognize this state? Well, there are two theories relevant to the recognition of state. The first one is the constitutive theory, under which it is asserted that a government and state do not legally exist until and unless it gets recognition by the international community. Lauterpacht and Guggenheim are two scholars in support of the constitutive theory, but there are critics that says that this theory is not always in align with the reality and it causes unequal treatment as recognition may be granted based on subjectiveness and biasness. The other theory is of declaratory theory. Under this theory, it is stated that state after attaining the attributes of the statehood comes into existence and it does not require a recognition or formal consent. Browley is in support of this theory, but the critics of this theory states that it lacks clarity and it is subjective and unpredictable as there is no any entity that decides when a state attains the statehood. What are the effects after recognition of state? Well, the legal effects after recognition of state are a state after recognition can enter into a diplomatic relation. It can sign treaties. It will gain rights and privileges as a part of the international community. It can undergo succession. It has the right to sue and be sued whenever a legal proceedings takes place, and it can be a member of the UN. The political effect of the recognition of state are the state's legitimacy and sovereignty gets acknowledged by other state. The state gain access to international organizations such as UN, SARC, ASEAN, etc. The state can enter into a bilateral relationship for trade and development. They can form alliances with other state and influence in the international a platform, and there will be a national identity that will foster a sense of belonging among the citizens. Recognition of government is different from recognition of state. In recognition of government, the criteria is set is that a new government should have a effective control over the territory and they needs to be settled and likely to continue the administrative authority. According to the Tobar doctrine, some of the government that comes into force through force through revolt or belligerent force. They needs to get the people accept them in order to be recognized. There may be circumstances for the withdrawal of recognition of the state. De facto recognition's withdrawal is easier when the government entity loses the effective control on its territory. There are no grounds for recognition. This type of recognition is withdrawn through declaration, communication with other recognized state, or issuing public statement. Withdrawal of de jure recognition is difficult. It may happen only if the state is annexed or conquered by another state. This type of recognition can also be withdrawn when the state loses essential element or attributes of statehood. A state could also be non-recognized when a state comes into existence through forces, uh, insurgencies, or revolt, or any other illegal actions. The international community does not grant him recognition based on the principle that legal rights cannot obtain from an illegal situation. Some of the issues pertaining to the recognition of the state in the world are: Afghanistan, which is led by Taliban, is not recognized as the legitimate government by the international community. There is Taiwan, which is making effort and is in a long-run dispute with China in order to be recognized as an independent and sovereign nation. The Israel and Palestine dispute is a talk of the town, as they are in constant war due to the recognition of state issue. Thank you all. Hope you enjoyed this session.